Sthembile Ngwenya is enjoying being a musician and letting loose. The 29-year-old from Tongaat in KwaZulu-Natal started singing with her family but later decided to go solo and has been doing very well. She released her latest single titled Blessed and she joins me now this morning to share more on her musical journey. Sthembile, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
How are you?
We are good, Sthembile. Good to have you on the show this morning. First of all, take us through your journey. Who is Sthembile Ngwenya? Where you come from, and how did you find yourself in the musical journey? And where do you draw your own musical inspirations from?
Sthembile Ngwenya is from Tongaat. I'm a twin with a lady, but we're non-identical. I started singing at a very young age, where I used to sing with my father, because he used to play a keyboard at church.
Okay.
And so I started singing gospel back then. Then in 2016, I was a trip with my sisters. We did gospel. We were in a competition called Etegwini Gospel Icon Discovery, where we were at the top 20. So that's when I realized that I loved music, but then I wanted to change the genre. It all went also, so I continued doing music.
So did performing in church have any influence on your decision to be a full-time musician?
Yes.
Okay.
I loved church.
So who inspired you then to pursue your dream?
It was my mother, because she always believed in me, but then also my dad, because in my family, we all love music. So then I decided to make it a career, because and write. So I also love writing. So I decided, no, let me just do music.
Okay. And how much influence does your KZN background have on your music?
They've been really supportive from my township where I grew up, from church. They are supportive a lot. So they inspire me to work more because they believe in me.
Okay. So now that you've changed your genre from gospel music, how would you describe your sound?
Okay, it's Afro soul, it's African soul, where I just use my Zulu language, but it's African soul. I'm also interested in jazz, but for now, I just love Afro soul.
Afro soul, okay. And what are some of the issues or themes that you explore in your songs? What is it that you normally sing about?
Mostly I sing about love, but then I just sing about what is happening in the world at the moment. Like I have songs about GBV. I have songs about my mother. I just sing about everything that inspires me.
So you sing about everything that inspires you. I mean, what really is the thought process? What goes through your mind as you, deliberate and write about some of these songs? Is it triggered by social events near you, or is it something that normally crosses your mind and then you decide to go for it?
Most of the time, it's the social events that's happening around me, because I think last year I wrote a song called Gunzima. It was about gender-based violence, because we had a child in my hometown who was killed. Bobo, I think his story was all over the world. So I decided to write about gender-based violence. So at the moment, sometimes I'm inspired about love, but then I write about everything.
Okay. And which artists have you worked with so far? I mean, who would you like to add on the list?
Okay, I've worked with DJ Kiso. DJ Kiso is my producer. We've done, I think, almost my album. He produced those songs. But then again, I did piano songs with DJ Spicy Steve and Spiro. Then currently working on the song called Blessed with Califola from Nigeria and Princess. So mostly I work with DJs.
Okay, so you're planning to work with other artists in future, like more collaborations, as it were?
Yes, I would love more Afro soul singers.
Who in particular? Who would you like to work with?
Brenda Mtambo.
I hope Brenda Mtambo is listening. And I understand that you're working on an EP. When will that be released?
Okay, I'm hoping it to be released end of March. It will be called Untitled Chapter with 6 songs.
Okay, do you want to give us a hint of what that will be about? Just take us through that.
Okay, Untitled Chapter, I just use my mother's words, my late mom's words. She she used to say she doesn't want her kids to suffer like she did, so she's going to pray for them. If there are hardships, then she'll ask God to loosen them up. So it's all about just her and her last words that she left us with.
And I think her prayers are now coming to fruition. I mean, just looking at you, you're now blossoming and your music career is taking off so beautifully. So what else would you like to do musically this year?
I'm hoping that I'll get more exposure. So I don't even know how to explain, but I'm hoping that I'll have more followers, more listeners, and people who are going to love my music, besides people from KZN and also the people who don't know me.
Yes, yes. And speaking of followers, how do your fans follow you and, for purposes of maybe connecting with you and for booking you for gigs?
I have a personal account, Facebook, Sthembile Ngwenya, but then I also have a page at Sthembile. You'll see my face with a hairstyle more like this.
Okay.
Then on Instagram, it says Sthembile Ngwenya.
Okay, Mtimand, thank you so much for joining us this morning and all the best in your career.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. We just spoke to musician Sthembile Ngwenya on the release of a new single.